Hey there, Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here. Welcome to day 2543 of What You Up To Now. This is a segment where I just document and journal and talk about what's going on in my business and in my personal development, in my life, and in coaching and consulting and in just everyday things that we want to talk about and share. So today we are doing the not the Let's Grow Annual Challenge. That was last year's annual challenge. We're doing the Be a Better You annual challenge. Today's day 14. And we're using the SOAP framework, doing the same thing for Supersize Your Business. I'm trying to combine and simplify. Sick at the end of the year and just kind of rolling out of it now. And so I wanted to find some ways to simplify and make life easier for myself. And that's the older I get, the more I want to simplify and streamline and automate the things that can be automated and continue to be involved in the things that only I can do, right? There's things that we do really, really well that we should do. And everything else, we should probably have somebody else do or delegate or get help with it. So I'm becoming better and better at that. It's a continually improving process, just like being a better version of myself is a continually improving process. Obviously, continuous improvement is one of my core values. And so I always want to be a better me. Do I fail some days? Absolutely. We're all human. Some days we're just jerks. Other days, or sometimes it's not even a whole day, right? Maybe it's an instant here or an instant there that we're less than we believe that we could be. But that's just the nature of being human, right? So now that's not making excuses for bad behavior, right? If I snap at someone or if I use a bad tone or if I'm not paying attention, that's on me to look at and understand and continue to be better, not on anybody else. But it's never an excuse for treating people in ways that we wouldn't want to be treated. That's, again, another one of my core values. So today we are working on the S in the SOAP framework. S stands for story or situation. In order to identify and really dive into and find the root cause of what's going on that we have. And we usually apply the SOAP framework to a challenge or a setback or a problem that we need to solve or an obstacle that we're facing. And so the first step of that is what's the current story or situation? What's going on right now? And then what's a desired situation? Sometimes we know what we want, but we're not clear on because we're not looking at or letting ourselves see the current situation. So for example, I picked physical for the Be a Better You annual challenge. I picked a physical area or aspect of my life to soap up this time. And I narrowed it down before the day started today to some type of nutrition. And why? Well, my current story is I'm not eating right? I'm, especially after the holidays, pretty much every year I could start off focusing on and running the SOAP framework on nutrition, because over the holidays, like everyone else almost, I stick to my habits and routines, but I eat a whole lot more stuff and sweets and things that I would normally never eat on a regular basis over the holiday period. This year I probably did less of that because I was sick from Christmas Eve on to, still got some cough and congestion, but so that probably slowed my process. No, it didn't though. It slowed it, but I still ate a whole lot of stuff that I normally wouldn't consume during the holidays. I just made, whenever I ate anything, it was something that probably wasn't good for me, which might be why it took me longer to get out of the whole virusy cold thing anyway. So we're doing a physical one and I will identify, and I'll just show you what I do. I'm doing it both for Supersize Your Business for a financial one. And I make bullet points of what's my current situation and what's my desired situation. And I do the same thing and for the annual challenge, I always keep a journal. I try to fit it all in one book, but I've gotten better about it. It doesn't always fit in one book. Sometimes I have to have a couple books for the year. Depends how much I write and how many notes I take. But again, I have my current story, my current situation, and my desired story and situation. And I'll create either bullet points or just write a paragraph about what's going on right now and then what I want it to be. And you can do whatever works for you. Maybe you just have a couple of key words that tell you what your current situation is. And I like to sometimes, it's like when we don't know what we want, or it's easier to list, okay, here's all the things I don't want. And really what we want is often the opposite of that. Well, the same is true of our current situation and our desired situation. If we can do one or the other, usually what's going on right now is not what we want. So it's the opposite. If we do the desired one first, then we just can look and say, okay, well, what let's be honest, what's really going on right now with this situation. You know, if I want to increase my cash flow by $10,000 with a new stream of income, that's my desired, and that's not going on right now. Well, that's pretty easy to say, okay, that new stream of income isn't going on right now. It's 0, and I want it to be 10K. So I like to use a process whenever I can automate something or make it easier or routine or automate. I like to do that. And the SOAP framework is a tool I've used. Now, I always had a process for doing this. I just hadn't identified it until the pandemic in 2020. And in 2020, like everybody else, I was scrambling to say, okay, there is so much change and so much stuff going on right now. How do we handle that? And I looked at how I was handling it, and it actually worked out to be a simple 4-step process. And then I just looked for acronyms to create it to be SOAP. It turned out that SOAP was a good acronym for the 4 steps of this process. And I do this process over and over again all the time. I probably do it dozens of times a day on autopilot in my subconscious because I've done it so many times. It's automatic. So something happens, my subconscious runs through it and then tells me exactly what I need to do. And that's what I do. And that's what I want it to be for you. A tool that you can use. And you don't have to call it the SOAP framework. You can rename it or re-step it any way you want, but pick something that works for you that you can call upon and you can install in your subconscious so it becomes automatic. So you automatically get better results than if you didn't have a process to use. Questions about this? Hit me up. Otherwise, have an absolutely fantastic day, and I will, of course, be with you tomorrow.